Good job. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day this is for you. Welcome. Welcome. Tiniwigis day, Majakikwe. Friendly, freaky ass, sweetgrass water medicine woman. Oh yeah. Coming at you from the Peterborough. Nokochiwanog, the place at the end of the rapids. And the Ojibwe territories. Lives. And the Saugeen and Mississaugas, maybe? No, I don't know. No, I'm not sure. You're familiar on the land that you're on. Ones that took care of it. Always. Since the dawn. I don't know. Welcome, yeah, friendly, sweetgrass water medicine woman, Christiana Carr, superstar. Oh, this beautiful divine being right here. And welcome all you beautiful divine beings right here too. I found my I am enough ring. I've weared it before. Because I'm enough. I'm in a little snaky. Transmuting those poisons. Reminders, right? This week I got lots of poisons to transmute, so I'm gonna be doing lots of work this week. That's right. Going to be a fool, I guess they say. So we'll see what happens. Keep sending me all that love and those vibes for me. I can get in touch with myself. That strength within myself to stand up to bullies and all that, no matter who they are and what their titles. So that's what this girl does. And right now I need to stand up for my children's mothers. Right, because she's crazy and there's many different personalities there, I guess, you know. She's just totally flipped her lid. That's what everybody believes. I think that's what kept her sane most of the time, is being a little bit of a loopy baby sometimes. Not naive. A lot of people mistake me for being more naive than I am. Because I can't always get the words out to say what I understand, though I can understand it. I can't translate it back in the way that you know that I understand it. Sometimes. Depends on who it is and who being. But I do understand a lot more than I can articulate that I understand it, right? I do know how to study and get the words down there, which is, hey, that part of the autism and that masking. It's just things in my life got so much that I couldn't mask anymore. And heck, any neurotypical that had to deal with everything that I dealt with, and many have done it before and have not held up so great. And this is not bragging or whatever. This is just the way I was made. So it's not better or worse. Because, hey, a lot of that damage happened inside. I kept it inside. So I've done this damage to my body because I didn't express my feelings. Or express them to the wrong people So in that self-sabotaging, then I would just get back with that, like, see, I don't deserve to feel, I'm being too silly, you know? So then I get an outside critic to confirm what my inside critic is saying. The inside critics usually come from the outside anyway, and then we just take up their voice inside our heads. I don't know, what is that for you? So we're on Monday. Mending Monday. Mending Monday. Oh, I think it's Morning Star Monday. Ow! A Morning Star Monday. Oh, no, don't do that. I got this. It's too hot to not have the fan on, but when it's up, just that breeze on my neck can trigger the spasms. Had a bad spasm in the shower, but I'm glad I have the support people to help me with that, because it's scary, right? And there's some things that I haven't been doing, and now it's like these new limits coming up, and it's scary in my body. Trying to not get angry at my body like I used to. So it's not the body's fault, right? It's just this little baby. That's what these bodies are. They're still the babies. Really, we might look like adults walking around here, but right? Have you done that healing? Have you felt what this baby had felt? Did you go through, see what that baby went through? Help that baby out of there? Yeah, I don't know. How about you? What did you do? Hey, it was my brother's weekend, my Big Eagle sisters. My brother's weekend. My brother's birthday on Saturday, my Big Eagle sister's birthday on Saturday, my cousin Cassandra's birthday on Saturday, and a couple other people's on Saturday. So July 17th, all those July 17th babies. Happy birthday to you. Well, I did get to give my brother a birthday hug. He was here briefly on Friday. So I gave him hugs and happy birthday a few times on Friday. Nancy on Saturday. No, I had just a nice relaxing week. Start of my flow time too. I call those my crying days. So it's not just the emotional stuff, but the body's feeling all yucky, and then that flow is lucky and but beautiful. Right, I'm trying to change that too, and not be. It's not a curse. It's not the female curse that we bleed and have babies. That's a beautiful thing. To be able to carry that life, and that life grows inside. We've been trained to look at it as curse and all that. Why? Because it's part of our empowering times, and those that were jealous, those that want to have power over, you need to make you feel ashamed of your own power. So ladies, don't be afraid of your moon blood. Oh, I love, the one that helped me really switch on that was Christian Northrup. She writes for Hay House. But she was an OBGYN, so medical doctor. That's how she started out. And now she does talks on PBS and stuff. Women's bodies, women's wisdom, the wisdom of menopause. You know, the mother and daughter relationships, the importance of that in a woman's life. Right. I need to work on mine. I love my mother. I don't want to mirror and be my mother anymore like I did before. Not wrong or right, but, you know. And my mother isn't my responsibility. She's her own person. It's not my job to protect her or try to teach her anything, because, you know, although I don't need the parent now, I need to parent myself. Really would be nice to have my mother here on the right side, actually supporting the children with her own daughter, with her own family. That's just so confusing for the children. That my family continues to stay in touch with them through their father. Even if everything they said was true, why do you leave somebody, if you're so concerned and worried about somebody to have a mental health issue? Why leave them alone? Why take away anything that could help them? Why leave them alone? Look at the stigmas out there. And if you were going through the same thing, How do you think you would do if you were left all alone? Would you think there was nothing wrong with you? Wouldn't you start to think, maybe there's something wrong with me? Maybe I am hard to love? I don't try to be. I'm really not trying to be. And I keep trying to change it, but I still end up in the same place, even though I'm doing something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting something different. But I got to go insane because I was trying all these different things and still getting the same results. But no matter which way I did it, it's always the same thing. Totally go left field, and it still ends up right down the middle. Actually, it wasn't in the middle. Nothing's ever been in the middle. There's no balance. It's always been off kilter. But that's the nature of that psychological abuse and gaslighting. Keep you off kilter. Keep you guessing. Keep you doubting yourself. And always go to that one for the answers. I got caught up in that. I mean, I was so enmeshed. When I moved to BC, I would introduce myself and say, I'm Sue's daughter. And everybody go, like, who's Sue? Like, it took me a real long time to figure out how enmeshed I was. Enmeshment, and that's not healthy. And the codependency and all that. And what we take on ourselves. I never want anybody to worry, so I always act strong and all that. Don't show my tears and whatever. So then people take that as cold or whatever. They apply their own meaning to it, and we do that. So we all should take responsibility. And, you know, am I projecting my own feelings into this situation? Am I reading this text or anything with my own feelings? Am I projecting onto that, or am I listening to what's really being said? Am I listening deeper and not assuming what the emotions are, but seeing and feeling and trying to tune in? You know, we can even try and match people's facial expressions, but not in a way that we're mocking them, but it can help us to shift or to kind of empathize. I don't know. What is that for you? I thought the CornStalk spread. Daily corn, I was thinking of the Morning Star, but this is just 4 cards. 4 cards here, so that's what we'll do. How does your corn grow? You see. I don't know if you can read all that. I try and hold it still for you. And then that way, if you wanted to use this with your own cards, you can. There you are. Okay. I'll set this up harder on my little box easel. So, yeah. Excuse me. Oh, here's a way of trying to maintain this balance again, right? Can't go right down the path. If I do, right, makes all their stories true. But that's okay. I am a resourceful. My mama taught me to be resourceful. I utilize the resources at hand to do the best. I've swallowed my pride. I go to the food banks when I need to, but not anymore. I'm going to have to, because half of my income is going to be gone. Half of my income. Next month. This is my last month to scrimp by and everything. Even when support payments were being made, I still needed every little bit just to pay bills. Man, if I go out, whenever I could go out, usually the designated driver at those times when we go out, I could take $20. That's all I would do for my little nights out. I wouldn't need any more than that. People try to make me out like this totally horrible person. Go ahead. It's free country, whatever. They're entitled to their own opinions. It doesn't make them right. Again, right? Opinions like assholes. Everybody's got one. So, sometimes their opinions are just like that, you know. So that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their own beliefs that don't make it true. So I'm not going to fall into that. I'm not going to worry about defending my... I know who I am. I utilize the resources. My mother taught me that. Go and seek that professional help. I don't just try and do it all on my own. Others think I do because I'll say no enough stuff to my friends because I'll go get professional help. I don't like to have that in my friendships because I don't want to be judged. I want us to be on equal things. And when you start doing that, I had a friend, PSW, beautiful, beautiful. And she'd offered to wash my hair. And well, that's her job, doing that. But I still don't want to be in that position with my friends. Because in my experience, when we get to that, then they start to try and control me or be bossy over me because they think they know. And it comes from best intentions, I'm sure. But then it's assuming that I don't know what's best for me, that I don't know, that I might be too naive. Or like when the autism, Liam was diagnosed on the autism, the first thing they say is 95% of them never leave home. So what is that setting us up for? Right? These preconceived notions, and we don't educate ourselves. Sometimes we just accept these things. Whatever. Like autism is not a mental illness, yet it's still in the DSM-5 as mental illness. It's the way the brain is, it's a processing, the way the brain processes. There's an overlap between autism and trauma. Doesn't mean that everyone that is traumatized will develop autism, but pretty much everyone with autism has experienced some sort of trauma. So, right, there's the genetic components is still being understood, but it is helping me to understand myself. So, that's there, but it keeps getting played off as mental illness. And when you're pushed to that point and the oversensory and then the autistic meltdowns and stuff, that's what I've been having, because it's not temper tantrums. I don't get upset because things didn't go my way. I get upset when I'm being treated unfairly. When somebody's talking over me, trying to tell me what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking and what I meant by what I said or why I did what I did. Like they know me better than I do. And nobody knows me better than I do. Nobody knows you better than you do. So if you don't feel like you know yourself, there ain't nobody knows you better than that. So you need to get to know yourself. So you're not going to fall for anything that anybody says and telling you who you are. That's an inside job. Even with our kids, I don't tell my kids who they are. I'm going to support you. I say you're a beautiful being. And, you know, support you whatever you do, but that's all up to you. Free will beings. Here we go, 20 minutes. That's okay. Calling in all of our energies from the east, path of illumination and clarity, place of fire, place of man. Calling back all of our energies from the south, the childhood, the innocence, the waters, the emotions. Calling back all of our energies from the west, the physical, the earth, the woman, place of introspection. Calling back all of our energies from the north, the air, the mental, that's our wisdom years. And we walk the red road, this earth walk, and we're born. Maybe rebirths. How many times? Is this the rebirth? Is this your first birth? I don't know. We don't know till we get there how this goes, so it's all up to us what we believe. And hopefully, you know, we're not just contained in these closed family systems so that we're only learning what those big ones want us to learn. So hopefully, you know, we're nurtured enough to see that there's all these other things out there. Or to even maintain. You know, sometimes they say that we're born and kids have those imaginations and kids are connected to spirit, or maybe their past lives, or whatever, right? But we squash those things in the kids instead of listening to them. We get focused more on teaching them and putting our stuff in there instead of, no, let's learn too. Let's watch them. Let's have these guidance so they can explore in safe parameters. But the safer they feel, the further they'll explore. What? It's like us. The safer we feel, the further we'll explore. But some, right, if we got to heal those attachment issues in us. It's nobody else's responsibility but ours. Let's not bring our baggage into other relationships. Clear that out, because it's not the next one's responsibility to make up for what the last one did. Too many times we do that. We hold that one in front of us accountable for the ones behind us. That's not okay. And that is not healthy. And then we get up to the wisdom years and then we see that, and then we be grateful and lovingly release others to their own life lessons. Because if we're with the wrong one, you know, what are you going to do? Why be with the wrong one when the right one comes along? Especially if you've got integrity. You ain't going to leave the wrong one to go for the right one because you feel like you owe the wrong one. whatever that is. Or sometimes we're trying to make that, you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. And then we try to make that one that we're with into the one that we want to love. And then it doesn't work. So let's be grateful for all those relationships. Let's enjoy the journeys and go, okay, right? I mean, that's how I was in relationships since I was younger. Okay, that's worn off. It's not the same. So, you know what? You're beautiful. I don't want to change you as you are, but I just don't feel these energies mixing with me anymore. And I don't want you to feel bad about yourself. So we can stay friends. For the most part, they are. You know? But that's always been my attitude. It's not better or worse. I still suffer from jealousies and whatever, but even young, when my first boyfriend was found kissing my friend behind the garage, I'm like, well, if he ain't getting it for me, might as well go someplace else. I mean, what's the point in being jealous? To me, somebody's going to go do that. They're going to go do that. And then that person's doing you a favor. Why get angry and carry those things on? Because we then take it personally. Right? And it'd be like, well, thank you. Now I can get on and find the right one for me. Right? Sometimes it may be for right now or for, you know, whatever. Sometimes we get so caught up, we just need that. We're craving that. So it's important to find out what this baby didn't get, that this baby's trying to get back from others and trying to overpower, maybe. But we need to empower. Self-esteem, best defense. So the blue road of spirit is east to west and is always there. If we pray, we can get in tune with that inner peace. And once we're in tune, if all of us take that responsibility to get in tune with that baby and bring us into inner peace, where's the war going to come from then? If each one of us takes responsibility and find that inner peace and not going, they're not praying for inner peace, they're not praying, look at how they're throwing it all up. Well, so are you then, okay? You're pointing your fingers, right? Check in, check up. Right? We pray. If we're all praying for that, we're staying in tune. We're taking full responsibility for our emotions and our regulation of them. Right? We're not pointing fingers going, they're making me this, they're making me mad, they're making me happy, they're making me sad. No. I am feeling joy when participating in this situation, whatever it is, right? Nobody makes you anything. Take your power back. Empower yourself. It's not power over, it's empower, right? And then that when we get in tune with that limited vision, so we find that peace, we're connecting with spirit, and then we get in tune with that unlimited visions that we had for ourselves, that Creator had for us and for creation. We get in tune with that and we do our piece of that puzzle, play our part in it. We be the fingerprint that we were made to be, because we're all fingerprints, expression of the great oneness divine, however you like to think of it. Above, below, and within. So the corn has been daily staple of our people for hundreds of years. We believe that corn pollen is sacred and that we are fed by the fertile earth whose gifts is our corn. Okay. Try spread these out now. Might have been able to have to shuffle them a little more. Okay. A wise medicine man once said that if a philosophy did not grow corn, it had no value. Ooh, right? So what is your beliefs? Do they help you? What purpose do your beliefs serve, right? And are they serving you? Or are they serving the greater good? Ouch, these aren't spreading out so smooth anymore. This dampness. The dampness is her. Okay. Right, a wise man said, if the philosophy did not grow corn, it had no value. Corn is a symbol of goodness, abundance, and fertility to our people. These are the things that feed us daily. We may feed the body, the mind, the heart, and the spirit if we seek beauty in our daily lives. For it is the beauty of living in balance that grows corn. The corn stalk spread is a way to receive a life manna that comes from sacred corn pollen. It is a gentle daily reminder of the beauty to be experienced if you are open to it. Above, reflections, below, and within. Okay. We have the above and within there. Okay, expansion of knowledge in the stones. This is what we're doing. We seek inside, we expand that knowledge of ourselves and what we are here for. Okay, and I'm going to put these over her. How about that? Okay, beautiful. Hope all you seekers are doing Beautiful out there. Getting in tune with yourself. The seeker of the light within you. Your light isn't in anybody else. It's in you. It's all in you. It's not in me. It's in you. Your light is in you. Let it shine through. 'Cause there's not another light like you. Right, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Right, shine your light bright. You can't shine my light, you can't shine anybody else's light, but your light. Self-reflections, looking deep inside. That's what we're going on about. What's growing corn here? So the first one is the root card. Denotes the beauty that can be experienced today by connecting to the Earth Mother. This card can also speak to you about the root of the problem. If you are in turmoil about some life situation, the root card can also allow you to see the resources available through connecting to Mother Earth. There we go. Right there. Aha! Death and rebirth. What was that came up first in those cards, right? Woo-hoo. Death and rebirth. We must let go of the one wrong to get to the other, right? We must let go of the way we thought it should be, right? Giving death to our fantasies and a rebirth to our dreams, to our purpose, to what we were sent here for. Death of the way we thought it should be, of the way others told us how it should be. Death to our reputations and a rebirth of our character in wholeness of who we truly are. Wow. Self-reflections. Those blue herons. We're doing those deep dives. That's the root card, right? The roots, the seeds grow right in the ground. We start out there. And no exceptions, right? The root cards. Right there. The root of the matter is we have to look within. Look within, look within, look within. Right, well, if I do this, let me see those self-reflections for her like that. We do those deeper dives. Oh my goodness. Don't fuss so much. Here we go. Here's the blue heron. We're doing those deep dives, those self-reflections, and the death and rebirths. We can look at how we've gone through that already. We're not these baby bodies anymore. Then we do like a little bit of a life review. This is the resources available through connecting to Mother Earth. We can do that prayer. We can do the deep dives, connect with our Mother Earth, feel our roots in there, right? And see that our knowledge is expanded too, because sometimes we'll keep repeating those cycles, and we'll keep repeating them until we open our eyes to them. We do those self-reflections and see. I've had to. I know the way that yelling comes out because I'm a quiet person. So I know that's what my little went to. It's viciousness. See it in my girl or whatever, and I know that that's what I went through too. So I have to forgive this little because this little repeated that. Or, you know, I've hurt this little more because I repeated it. Because I wanted to be a reflection. Because I thought this was good. We can, right? Well, I was beaten half to a pulp, and I turned out okay, so I'm going to continue to beat my kids half to a pulp. So how do we delude ourselves going, well, abuse is normal, suffering, you know, we got to do suffering in life, and inflict suffering, whatever that is for you. Look inside, deep dives, reflections, death to all those beliefs and things that held us back, rebirth to those dreams and that joyful little being that saw the world as magic. And marveled in everything, you know, could sit and stare at a butterfly for hours. Whatever that is for you, it's returning to that innocence, a rebirth of that innocence, that we are all innocent. The second card is the Stalk card, which represents the attitude needed to walk in beauty and balance. The Stalk card can also denote the lesson you may need, the lesson you need to learn. So you may be a bridge between the path of understanding and the crooked trail. This human bridge is the peacemaker, true witness, or healer. You may be called upon to take one of those roles at any time. The courage, talent, or ability needed to be a human bridge is supported by the Stalk card. Humor in opposites, being able to laugh at ourselves and not take life so seriously, but be serious about living and enjoying our lives, because we can learn as much from joy as we can through suffering. So look at the humor when we thought we had to suffer to get closer to God. But we can do it through joy, being pure bundles of joy. Closest connection to the Spirit, right? When we're those little babies. So let's laugh at ourselves to think we had to take Spirit out of the whole picture and just depend on all on man, right? Tap into that joy. Look at that, doubles it, 2244. The hummingbird is that joy. That joy. This is the lesson we need to learn. That we can learn just as much through joy as we have from suffering. That there is enough suffering to look back on. We don't need to continue. The hardest part of our journey is over. Hardest parts of our journey is over. The child already went through the hardest parts. And yet we're fearless as children and develop more fears as we get older. Imagine that. So let's return to that joy and let's see how we've made ourselves afraid. It's probably by our own thoughts, because the brain believes whatever we tell it. The brain believes whatever we tell it. Oh, yes, 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 it do. Yes, 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 it do, it do, it do. So what are you telling your brain to? What are you saying to your brain in there? Hey, that we can't make it. Oh, life sucks and we're never going to be anything. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Oh my God, Wayne's World was on the other night. Okay, and I believe, okay, dude, where's my car? That's going to be coming on soon. That's right, I can see that one coming on soon, and that happens. I'm like kind of in tune when movies come on. I want to see them, so the next thing is showing on the TV. It's on the cable. So, that was a good one. What was another one that I loved? Oh my goodness, we watched Wayne's World so many times. I could, like, do the thing along every freaking line in that movie I did. Right, my favorite was, "Hey, Mr. Donahan, man, who's trying to kill you? I don't know, but they better not." That was one of my favorite parts. And I still want a licorice dispenser in my van or my vehicle. I need a licorice dispenser. So anyways, carrying on here, right? The joy, we're tapping into that, the humor and opposites to see. Because we say, oh, this is how it is, so we fall into that. We don't try to change anything. We keep repeating those cycles. We go, ha, 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 right? Yeah, I just repeated that cycle. I didn't know. So now I'm tuning in. I'm getting tuned. I'm tapped in, tuned in, and turned on to that spirit, to that little insight, seeking within to expand our knowledge of who we are, not who others say we are, of who Creator made us to be, that divine reflection that we are. There's no exceptions. All fingerprints of the Great Oneness Divine. Everything that is, and everything that was, ever will be, right, comes from Great Oneness Divine. Whatever you call it. So we can spend our time arguing about it, whatever. Who's got the better asshole? Who's is the truest asshole, or whatever. Or we can go, yeah, we all share different opinions. Oh, you're seeing it from that angle, I'm seeing it from this angle. So of course, you know, and here we go. Like, that's just, there's no label on that. Oh, it's got such a beautiful label. There's no label. It's just a clear, beautiful. No, there's this beautiful label. It's a time. No. And we can sit here and argue about that. But if we changed our perspective, we see we're all right. We're all right. We are all right. Because we all see through our own eyes. Okay? But hey, eyes don't see everything. Brains discern what's important. See, the hand's quicker than the eye. So we trust what we see, But we can't always believe what we're seeing. Because there's so many smoke and mirrors. So we need our full beings. We need to connect with it all. That's where we can laugh at, because we think we saw it. We think we know it all because we saw it. But yeah, what we saw is just what they wanted us to see. We think we're making up our own minds, but even in movies and stuff, all these subliminal messages that get planted in there, implanted, it's mind control. If you've got a human brain, it can be controlled by the outside, unless you tune into that inside and you're so in tune with who you are, there is no way anybody can impose their thoughts and their will on you. Align with your free will. And the third card is the Kernel card, which tells you what the fruits of your labor will provide for you. The lesson of this card should be fully digested so that the ear of corn can give energy to the body, mind, or spirit and support your present path. All right. And support your present path. Kernels of corn represent the seed of the future to Native people. These kernels also provide food for the present. Through learning present lessons, the future will be assured, right? So we get in there. We're tapping into those roots and those givings. What do we give? What have we been giving out there? Have we been giving grief? Have we just been complaining and whining? What have we been given? Have we been given that this family is hopeless, we're never going anywhere, blah, 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 right? Or a family that pushes their beliefs onto you? Do you have a closed family and a meshed family? Learn about family systems. I think it do us all some good. Family systems, self-esteem, healthy relationships. These should be basic starts of schooling, I think. How to socialize with other individuals, because they're taking that out, really, putting computer screens, and then it's easier to control you through those screens when you don't have that face-to-face connection, you know, physical connections, and that's not sexual connections, the physical, these deep, intimate relationships. It takes the intimacy out of there. And intimacy is not sex. It's sharing deeply of our stories, being able to share from our whole selves and the truth. And not somebody saying, no, that's not how it was. That's not how it is. It's understanding that even if we've grown up in the same house, we have two different experiences of that home and that family. Right? And what's that? Sometimes we divert ourselves and busy ourselves into everybody else's lives because we're too afraid to look at our own. 5 and 5. We're too afraid to make that change within ourselves. Or we go and play dead and let somebody else come and do it for us. What is that? Are you giving? Right? Are you expecting somebody to come along and save you? Right? Do you just keep doing what you're doing and going, ah, yeah, whatever, wah, poor woe is me, but you keep doing what you're doing? What is that for you? Right? The roots and the givings. You do the roots and the giving. In the tree of life. I don't know. Hold on. This is what we're doing. The roots and the giving. And what are we diverting, right? Because there was a time. I learned that from my mother too. Yeah. Well, because my problems aren't so bad. So let me go find somebody else that's got a tougher problem. And then I feel better about my problems because they're so much worse off than I am. Well, isn't that judging? Yes, it is. I love you. Okay. That is judging. And who are we to judge anybody else? We do not know. We're being diverted from our own, right? You're pointing fingers. You're not looking at yourself. You're saying how they're not finding that peace within them. How are you finding that peace within yourself? Because you're letting yourself being thrown off by this other one that ain't finding the peace. What did that for you, huh? Must look at that. It's a diversion. If you think you're the one responsible to help somebody else get their life together, oh my goodness, hello, get your ego. Better check your ego. Nobody is your responsibility but you. And even our children, we can do that. We still don't know what our children's are. So why are we trying to lead them? We can connect with the divine and say, okay, how do you want me to lead my children? Because, you know, I know they're just on loan. You sent them here with a purpose, just like you sent me here with a purpose, just like you sent everybody here with a purpose. And we got free will. So it was a purpose we chose for ourselves before we came down. I don't know. We don't know till we get there. We don't know till we get there. Our problems come when everybody tries to push their asshole on everybody else and says everybody needs to have the same asshole as me. Okay? And if your asshole is different than mine, well, that's bad. Alright? Let's look at that. Okay, it's our differences that keep us beautiful. It's our differences that keep life interesting. It's our differences that help to expand our knowledge. Our knowledge don't expand if everything stays the same. You know, you stay connected to the same people. That's why it's good to have different people and different relationships in your life. If we get enmeshed and we stay in closed systems and relationships, we don't let anybody else in. We get cliquey and we're all mad at this one now, and then everybody gets mad at that one, but nobody's using their own opinion because they're following one whatever. So look at that. What do you follow? What are you loyal to? The fourth card is the corn manna, which denotes how your corn silk is catching the sacred pollen and bringing abundance to your life. If you're feeling the fear of scarcity, the corn manna card will represent the lesson that you need to learn to realign with the field of plenty. If your life and personal philosophy are growing corn, this card shows how to continue the growth. There we go. The attitudes, this is a note. Attitudes change daily and depend on the events you are experiencing. To change your attitude, you may wish to acknowledge the resources available at the root and the harvest that may be coming your way through the corn card. Notice that the integration of these two clues, to what you are creating are supported by your stalk. The stalk is the attitude that will bring the abundance into physical form. Now what is that? That retreat denotes how your corn silk is catching sacred pollen and bringing abundance to your life. When you retreat, that's how you do it. It's not that we're working what we go for, because then we don't see when those things are coming in. It's when we retreat and have a look at how far we've come. We actually see we have grown corn. We actually see, wow, I did do it when I was afraid. Right? That baby didn't stop taking those walks. We need to open up to that potential miracle. Let's stop limiting ourselves, saying this is the way it is, that's the way it's going to be, this is all I'm worthy of, so I'm not going to try for any more. We give up at the slightest hint of a challenge or that we might lose. So better off, right? But you're never going to succeed at everything. You're going to fail at everything you don't even try. Or, right, we're afraid of failure, right? So you're never going to do it. You'll never get anything you don't try for. You never get anything you don't ask for. Go for, whatever. Sit back. You can pray, right? We retreat and we see and let those answers come to us. The more frantically we're out trying to get it, the more it kind of eludes. We need to sit, right? Listen for the quiet voice, not the shout. We catch spirit on the whisper, not on the shout. Message from the Boyd. You're about to meet your potential destiny. Again, right? If you're in this wrong relationship, you're trying to make that the right one. You're not going to notice the one that's there that doesn't have to change anything, that you're both a perfect match just the way you are without having to change anything. There's always going to be compromise and things like that. Doesn't mean you're going to agree all the time, but the way you disagree, the way you find resolution. There's so many things people just give up. They don't talk, they divert themselves from it, and everything else is a distraction from the truth, right? That this isn't like a perfect match, or we're trying to make this a match when it was just meant to be for this long. We're trying to draw it out longer when there's no more lessons to learn here or whatever, right? So unlimited potential miracle, key to creative abilities. So if we keep ourselves trapped in boundaries and locked in because this is the way it's supposed to be, we're not expanding our knowledge, we're not going and learning anything else, because like, I know how it is, don't tell me, this is how it is. And even about ourselves, sometimes we think this is what we know about ourselves. But is this who we decided we were? Or who others told us and we just got used to, so we just decided to live up to that, right? When you get told, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad. Well, I might as well go be bad because everybody says I'm bad. Therefore, I must be bad. So that's why we must be very careful of what we're projecting on our children or any children. Don't project your own stuff on there. Because children are born with those human brains, and then they'll lose that connection that they got to that spirit, that great oneness divine. Teach them how to connect to that by connecting to it yourself and be an example of that, right? The rhythm and timing, you know? Not everything is going to happen at this time and blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's not supposed to. Maybe you thought this is supposed to happen now. But hey, it's divine timing, not our timing. When we try and force things to happen, do we feel good? Is there a time when you tried to force things to happen and then it didn't turn out and then it just made a great big mess? That if you just let it happen, and is there a time when you let something happen naturally that just seemed to go, whoa, right, I put that out there and it seemed like I didn't have to do anything and it just kind of unfolded before me. What is that? When we're trying to rush something, or do we just let it happen? Look, when you're driving down the street, do you see all the beauty in nature and all the scenic views when you're going so fast? No, it all becomes a blur when you're driving. So how do you expect life? Life is just going to be a big blur if you're trying to go fast through it. Go slow, because it's about the journey. We all come here and we're in a hurry to get back home. When we forget that we came here to have a human journey. However you want to look at it, that we came here as an expression in the image of the great oneness divine, for the great oneness divine to explore itself in as many ways as it could be. What is that for you? We're returning to that innocence and seeing that internal rhythm, and we see how things happen in divine time, and then that's the perfect time. Everything is in perfect and divine order, even when it doesn't feel that way. Right? There is order in the chaos. We don't know, because our human brains are limited and we keep limiting ourselves. That's why we need to retreat, expand that knowledge, see how those roots have swayed us, and see how that was a diversion from who we really are. Right? So we're going down to the shaman death and that self-reflection. One quickly for each to pop out. Right? And that is our roots. Going back to those roots, the death and the rebirth, the self-reflections, right? The death of listening to everybody else who we are, and doing those self-reflections and deep dives to see who we are, and getting swept away in the love for our source, for ourselves, and for others. Right? Because a lot of times we get caught up, we get in love, and the closer we get to somebody, the more afraid, the more we pull back from them. Because we've been hurt. That's where we need to see, what is the baggage I'm bringing in? Is this because of what's really happening in this current relationship right now? Or is it because this was something that happened in the past and now I'm expecting it to happen in this one? Because that's how we create self-fulfilling prophecies and self-sabotage too. Because we keep worried, we do that clinging, and you only lose what you cling to. There's the Buddhist thoughts on that, right? We only lose what we cling to. Right? And human beings are not possessions. And that's the thing. When we get caught up thinking that we own another human being, or we give ourselves to another human being like they own us. People are not possessions. People are not possessions. Okay? We do not own each other. What we belong to is the earth and the sky. Our true mother and father, heavenly father and earthly mothers. There we go. Okay, leave those in there. Let's get moving on. 50-30. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're getting swept away, and we don't want to. And sometimes that's what we're afraid of. So let's give death to that being swept away, because sometimes it's beautiful. Just to let that flow carry you. Just let everything out, all those emotions, and let it flow. You know, like the waves, it comes in and it goes. But we're not going to hang on to it. That's where we get tripped up and stuck, because something comes in, we want to hang on to it. Or we let something go. God, I'm giving this to you to take care of. Oh, wait. I don't trust that you can take care of it the way I want you to. What is that? So look at that. Deep dives and self-reflections. How have we gotten our own way? And then we can laugh at ourselves with this Stalk card, right? The root. And the stalk that supports it all. This is the bridge. Peacemaker, true witness, or healer, right? We look at that. That's the little inside. That's the true witness and healer. The little's been with you this whole time. It's in there seeing everything that you're going through. Does your little inside trust you? Right? That just flipped around in there. So that's the liberator. We need to free that baby. The teaching lodge of the arrows. We need to free, and we need to see that as we share our stories, we're not getting reprimanded. But maybe we shared our stories with the wrong ones. Maybe we go and try and heal our issues with that one. And no. Now is the time to take that in with within you and see what that's saying to you. Because sometimes we want to work it out and have closure in relationships and blah, 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 blah. Sometimes we're not going to get that. So we're going to keep ourselves unhealed from that. So let's tap into the joy. We're always taking the love and the lessons. We're taking the love and the lessons. That's how we free ourselves. That's how we empower ourselves again. Get in tune with that joy that's inside of you. That baby is there. Always there. And do we listen? Does that baby trust you? And here we go. We laugh. We laugh, right? Because we put that on somebody else. We don't trust them. But really, is it that we don't trust ourselves? Why? Were we told we couldn't be trusted? I don't know. What's that saying in you? Let's look at now this, what is this? With the kernel card. The kernel, right? Looking at those roots and how we've diverted ourselves from that. And how we're going to make those changes in that. Just one. Thank you. Just one. Flip. Jump out, whatever. Just one. Thank you. There we go. Resources. The Magician. I am. I am who I am. I am who I am, and that's all I can be. I am who I am. Yeah, I eat me spinach. Right? Oh, you know, one thing I just had to say, that Popeyes and the supplement store, Popeye was not about supplement. He was getting it right, the greens, right from the things. So I don't think a supplement store should be called Popeyes. That's misrepresentation. Popeye was all natural, tailor-man. There's my opinion on that. You know what we say about opinions. So, you know, I got them too. But hey, you're free. You like Popeyes being a supplemental store, whatever. Anyway, see, I am. That's a resource, the Magician. We've already got everything we need. So look at how those resources and stuff maybe shaped us into something. Did it lead us down that crooked trail? So we knew maybe there was others down that crooked trail and helped to shine a light to the straight path, to the straight and narrow, or whatever. But how much did we learn on those crooked trails? Right? Nothing is ever going in a straight line. We live in spirals and circles. Ain't no straight. What you talking about? Straight's a man-made concept. Right? Harsh. Direct. Blah, blah, blah. To the point. Right? Spirits, metaphorical, physical, whatever. I'll put those down there. Look at that. Our roots help give us all this strength we need. Everything we need is inside. We came equipped with it all. And look at this earth. Anything we need to make on this earth. Right? But let's start and begin within. We got the resources to be ourselves and to heal anything that we need. So let's tap into those resources. And we're never alone. Right? We're never without hope unless we decide to be. And then let's look at that, the corn manna, the corn silk, the sacred calling. You know, we tap into that. We get that attitude that we are the Magician. We are creating our life. We are co-creating. We're tapping in. See, his arms are up. Connecting with that source, right? Bringing all those elements together and mixing. We are spirit and material. Always. No matter what. Believe it or not. You don't have to believe it for it to be the truth. Okay, the bridge. One more before we go. Oh, 2 came out with that. Right, and that's nurturing lodge of the bowls and the fruits of devotion before I end up shuffling those up again. Those are our tops and bottoms for that there. We'll have a look at those after. And in the struggle, don't overcome with actions. Okay, so let's look at these last 2 that go up here. So grandfathers, so come on like this. The grandfathers was up, and that's a 17. Retreating, right? And the moon is the mothers. This is the star card, but look, ascension. So we have the grandmother and the grandfathers just up at that top. That's where we tap into that unlimited potential and see that, right? We see the ones who walked before us, and we can see all the suffering that we don't need to keep repeating the same thing. War brings more war. The warriors were not about war and fighting. It was about keeping the peace. Right? Last resorts to bring out the big guns, really. Right? So we need to come home to ourselves and see that we are part of that. We're retreating home, tapping into that unlimited potential that this baby had when they were born. They got limited by the ones around us, and then we continued on ourselves to keep limiting ourselves. So what are we clearing out? What are those beliefs that no longer serve us, that actually hold us back instead of helping us to expand? Woo! Right? And we're returning home to that nurturing lodge of the bowls to see that everybody deserves that love. No exceptions. Ones that didn't get it, are they going and trying to take their power back over? Hey, and we can't. Sometimes we see that in our abusers and we want to love them. But you know what? Maybe we're not the right ones to do it. They have to see it in themselves. And if we're doing it, oh, then they can just keep blaming us. That happened to me with my abusers. Well, I can say, well, maybe because you didn't know. And yes, see, it is your fault. Any way that they could. Put it back on you. But we all have to see our innocence. We all have to see the parts that we play. See the abusers as innocent victims too. Because what are we doing then? If we go on, oh, we should shove a curling iron up their ass and turn it on and blah, 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 blah. What are we doing then? We just keep repeating those same cycles. The hurt keeps getting more hurt, more hurt, more hurt. We start bringing in more hate. And what the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for every one of us. Sorry, I can't remember the name of that. But that's a good old classic song. And that's what this world needs. So, love you very much. I have got to go now. Have a beautiful, blessed day and week. Biggest heart hugs ever. Yes. Thank you for being you and shining your light through in everything you do. Do those deep dives inside. Empower, not overpower. Everything you need is within you. So tap in and see. Tap into your own joy inside. Get swept away in that beautiful, blissful peace and in this journey. And enjoy every bit of it. Don't reject any bit of it. You signed up for it somewhere, somehow, some way. I don't know. That's what I think. That's what I believe. But we don't know until we get there. Love you. Biggest heart hugs ever. One more time, right? Empower, not overpower. You got this. We're all in it together. And we're all going in the same direction. Yes, we are. Love you.